A common refrain you'll hear from Christians whenever you decide to stop following God is that you decide to be your own God, that God is no longer on the throne of your heart. You've put yourself on the throne of your heart. Let's set aside the issue of whether or not that's a bad thing in the first place, but it kind of reminded me of, you guessed it, a movie. Last night I had the pleasure of seeing Inside Out 2. And in the sequel, they introduced these new emotions: embarrassment, ennui, envy, and anxiety. What I'm going to share is not a major spoiler because they introduce it early in the movie. And if you remember, they create these concepts of emotions and complex emotions. And in this particular sequel, they introduced the idea of Riley's sense of self. This is essentially at her core, what does Riley think about herself? It is created by memories forming Riley's beliefs. And as soon as I heard that introduced in the movie, I was like, oh, this is going to make a great religion analogy. And Riley's sense of self is that I am a good person. That is how she thinks of herself at her core. And side note, at no time in the movie did the filmmakers felt it was necessary to explain what it meant when she said that she was a good person. We understood why she was a good person. We understood why she believed that she was a good person. So the next time a Christian asks you, well, what does it mean to be good? Say, go watch Inside Out 2. Anyway, in the movie, anxiety ends up taking over the control room. She essentially is now on the throne of Riley's emotion and heart. In order to become popular and to become liked, anxiety starts making her do things that Riley otherwise normally would not do. The way she treats her friends, decisions that she makes, they're all coming from this place of anxiety. And I felt like that was a beautiful analogy for what a lot of people go through with their Christian faith or any kind of dogmatic faith. Many of us deconstruct it because we felt like it was making us do things and believe things that was going against our nature, our good nature. For a lot of Christians, they tell themselves that Jesus Christ or God is at the control center of their brain, of their emotions. But the truth is, for a lot of them, it's really anxiety. The anxiety that's caused that you may go to hell if you don't believe right, act right, do all the right things according to God. And let's be honest, God is not really necessarily at the control center. It's whichever version of God was sold to you and that you decided to buy. And without giving away what happens at the end, we learn that Riley learns that your sense of self is a lot more complex than what you think at the beginning of the movie. And I believe you can have a sense of self that is partially formed by your faith. I'm not saying faith in and of itself is bad, but be honest with yourself and ask yourself, is it really, quote unquote, God that's at the control center of your life? Or is it anxiety? And I can only speak for myself, but ever since I personally deconstructed, I can honestly say that joy's been in control of my life. Cue all the Christians that are going to say, see, you just want to be your own God. In any case, go see Inside Out 2. It's awesome. Not quite as good as the first, in my humble opinion, but it's a good film.